The silent Oannes, the great hall of Unity 7 echoed with 1,000 voices. Alien species from across the galaxy gathered for the monthly council meeting. The Krell warriors stood tall, their red scales gleaming under the lights. The Vorn traders whispered in corners, making deals. The ancient Dax watched everything with their 4 eyes. Silent and judging Dot at the far end of the hall, away from the noise, stood the humans. They were small compared to the Krell. They had no scales, no natural armor, no claws. Just soft skin and quiet eyes. For 50 years, humanity had been part of the galactic community. For 50 years, they had said very little. Look at them, General Krell laughed, his voice booming across the hall. The silent ones. They come to our meetings, but they never speak. They build their tiny colonies, but they never expand. What kind of species are they? The other aliens joined in the laughter. Even Elder Vorn, the old trader, smiled with his thin lips. Commander Stone, the human representative, stood with his hands behind his back. He did not react. He simply watched. This was the human way. Watch, listen, learn. Perhaps they are afraid, another Krell warrior said. They have no great weapons, no battle fleets, just cargo ships and mining vessels. Peaceful fools, General Krell agreed. The galaxy belongs to the strong, not the silent. The meeting ended, as it always did. The loud species made their demands. The quiet species listened, and the humans said nothing at all. 3 weeks later, General Krell made his decision. We will test these humans, he told his officers. There is a mining colony on the edge of their space. We will attack it. Show them the price of weakness. His war fleet moved through space like a red storm. 20 ships, each one armed with plasma cannons and fusion missiles. The Krell were the greatest warriors in the galaxy. Everyone knew this. Everyone feared them. Everyone except the humans. When the fleet reached the mining colony, General Krell expected to see defenses, shields, weapons. Fear Dot instead. He saw evacuation ships leaving the colony. Slow, steady, organized. They run. A Krell officer laughed. Just as we thought. Cowards. But General Krell felt something strange in his chest. Something he had not felt in many years. Doubt the evacuation ships did not flee in panic. They moved in perfect formation. Every civilian, every worker, every child was loaded and sent away. Then the colony went dark. Complete silence. Sir, should we pursue the evacuation ships? An officer asked. No, General Krell said slowly. Something is wrong. Scan the area. Full sweep. The scanner showed nothing. Empty space. Dead colony. No threats. Move in, General Krell ordered. But stay alert. The Krell fleet advanced. They surrounded the colony. Still nothing. Then the stars went out. One by one, the stars around them vanished. Not actually gone blocked. Hidden. Sir. Ships decloaking. Everywhere. They appeared like ghosts. Human ships, dozens of them, materializing from the darkness. But these were not warships. General Krell saw mining vessels, cargo haulers, even colony transport ships. They send their workers against us? A Krell officer laughed nervously. This is madness. General Krell did not laugh. He had seen something in the scans. Something that made his blood run cold. Every single human ship had been modified. The mining ships moved first. Their industrial lasers, designed to cut through asteroids, turned toward the Krell fleet. The beams were not military weapons. They were better, more powerful, more precise. 3 Krell warships died in the first 10 seconds. Return fire. General Krell screamed, but the human ships moved like nothing he had ever seen. fast, unpredictable. They did not fight in formation. Each ship acted independently, yet together they were perfect. A cargo hauler accelerated to impossible speed and rammed straight through a Krell destroyer. The explosion lit up the space like a second sun. Colony ships broke apart, their sections becoming bombs that detonated among the Krell fleet. Mining drones, tiny and fast, attached to Krell hulls and drilled through the armor dot. It was not a battle. It was a slaughter. Retreat, General Krell finally ordered. Retreat now. Of his 20 ships, only 9 escaped. 1 week later, General Krell stood before the Galactic Council. His scales had lost their shine. His voice had lost its boom. Report, the Dax Elder commanded. They do not fight like us, General Krell said quietly. They do not have war fleets because they do not need them. Everything they build is a weapon. Every tool, every machine, every ship. The council chamber fell silent. Commander Stone stepped forward. He looked at General Krell. Then he looked at the council. We asked you not to attack, Stone said simply. You laughed. He turned and walked away. Behind him, the galaxy began to understand. Humanity's silence was not weakness, it was patience. And patience, they were learning, was the most dangerous weapon of all. The trembling Bee-Geon's 3 months had passed since General Krell's defeat. The Galactic Council met again, but this time the atmosphere was different. Fear hung in the air like smoke. We must discuss the human problem, Elder Vorn said, his voice tight with worry. The other species nodded. Even the proud Krell warriors looked uncomfortable. What do we really know about them? Asked a Dax representative, her 4 eyes blinking slowly. They have been among us for 50 years, yet we know nothing. They are quiet, someone said. They are dangerous, another corrected. Commander Stone was not present at this meeting. The council had decided to discuss humanity without human ears listening. This was their first mistake. Elder Vorn volunteered to lead an investigation. I will send my best spies to their worlds. We will learn their secrets. The council agreed. Within days, Vorn agents infiltrated human colonies, disguised as traders and travelers. They searched for answers. What they found changed everything. The reports came back in pieces, each one more disturbing than the last. The humans have a history of war, one spy reported, but not war against others. War against themselves. The council members looked at each other in confusion. What do you mean? Elder Vorn asked. They fought each other for thousands of years, the spy explained. Nation against nation, brother against brother. They created weapons so terrible they could destroy their own planet. And they did this before they ever left their world. Silence filled the council chamber. They killed each other with nuclear fire. Another spy added. Millions died. Their cities burned. And still they survived. Still they continued. A Krell warrior spoke up, his voice shaking slightly. A species that wars with itself. What happens when they war with others? No one answered. They all knew. There is more, Elder Vorn said, reading the reports. The humans have a saying, speak softly and carry a big stick. They were not silent because they were weak. They were silent because they were watching. Watching what? The Dax representative asked. Watching us. All of us. For 50 years, they studied every species in the galaxy. Our weapons. Our tactics. Our weaknesses. Elder Vorn's hands trembled as he held the report. They have files on how to defeat each of us. 1,000 different ways. The council erupted in panic. Species that had ruled the galaxy for centuries now felt like prey. The Dax were the oldest species in the galaxy. They had existed for 10,000 years. They had never been defeated. They had never retreated. They had never felt fear. Until now. We cannot allow this, the Dax High Command decided. If we show fear, we lose our position. We must act. We must remind the galaxy, and these humans who truly rules here. They planned their attack carefully. Not a mining colony this time. Not an outpost. Earth itself, the homeworld of humanity, would burn. Then the galaxy would remember that the Dax were supreme. 500 warships gathered in secret. The finest fleet ever assembled. Weapons that could crack planets. Shields that could withstand stars. They jumped into the Sol system with confidence. They left with terror. Earth's defense was not what the Dax expected, that there was no single fleet waiting for them. No grand battle formation. Instead, they found something much worse. Everything was armed. Every satellite orbiting Earth carried weapons. Every space station was a fortress. Every piece of debris was a mine. The moon itself, humanity's ancient companion, bristled with cannons hidden beneath its surface. "This is impossible," the Dax fleet commander whispered. "How long have they been preparing?" The answer came from Commander Stone's voice, broadcast across all channels. "Since the day we joined the galaxy," Stone said calmly. "We hoped for peace. We prepared for war. This is the human way." The battle began. Asterisk. Dax ships died by the dozens before they even reached Earth's orbit. Laser grids cut through their shields. Railguns fired projectiles at incredible speeds. Missile swarms hunted them like insects. The Dax had superior technology. But humans had superior planning. Every angle was covered. Every approach was trapped. Every tactic was countered before it was even used. They predicted everything. The Dax commander screamed. "How do they know what we will do before we do it?" Because humans had studied war for thousands of years. Not just against aliens. Against themselves. Against enemies who thought like them, who were as clever and cruel as they were. The Dax were powerful, but humans were experienced. After losing 300 ships, one of the greatest military disasters in galactic history, the Dax retreated, for the first time in 10,000 years. The ancient ones had failed. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The unstoppable Dax had been stopped. The ancient ones had run in fear. When Commander Stone walked into the next council meeting, the entire hall stood silent. Not out of respect. Out of fear. He took his seat without a word. The laughter had ended. The mockery had ceased. Now, when the humans were silent, everyone listened. Because the galaxy finally understood the truth. Humanity's greatest weapon was not their ships or their guns. It was their mind. And now, deep down, the galaxy trembled. Asterisk. 1 year after the Dax defeat. The galaxy had changed. Trade routes avoided human space. Military exercises stayed far from Earth. The council meetings were quieter now. Respectful. Then the darkness came. They appeared at the edge of the galaxy. No warning. No communication. Just death. The swarm. They were not like any species the galaxy had known. Insect-like creatures that traveled in millions. They did not negotiate. They did not trade. They consumed everything: planets, ships, entire star systems. The Krell fought them first. Their warrior fleets lasted 3 days. The Vorn tried to run. The swarm was faster. The Dax used their ancient weapons. The swarm adapted and grew stronger. In 6 months, 20 civilizations fell. The galaxy was dying. The emergency council meeting was chaos. Species that had once been proud now begged for solutions. "We need a plan," Elder Vorn shouted. "We need a miracle," a Krell survivor said quietly. All eyes turned to the human section. Commander Stone sat alone, watching them as he always did. A Dax representative stood. Her pride was gone. Her 4 eyes showed only desperation. "Humans," she said, her voice breaking. "We ask for your help." The council fell silent. "We mocked you," she continued. "We attacked you. We called you weak. But we were wrong. We were fools. Please, help us." Commander Stone did not answer. He stood and left the chamber. For 3 days, humanity was silent. The galaxy waited in agony. Every hour, more systems fell to the swarm. Every day, more billions died. On the 4th day, Commander Stone returned to the council. "You laughed at our silence," he began, his voice carrying across the hall. "You mistook our patience for weakness. You thought we were afraid." He paused, looking at each species in turn. "We were not afraid. We were preparing. For 50 years, we watched you. We learned from you. But we also remembered where we came from." Stone's expression softened slightly. "We know what it means to face extinction. We know what it means to fight when there is no hope left." He took a breath. "We will help you." What happened next became legend. From the deep darkness of space, they emerged. Human warships. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Not the mining ships or cargo vessels the galaxy had seen before. These were true weapons of war. The fleet was called Project Exodus. For 50 years, while the galaxy laughed, humanity had been building. In secret asteroid bases. In hidden space stations. In the cold void between stars. Each ship was a masterpiece of war. Each weapon was designed to kill. These were not tools converted to fight. These were machines built for one purpose only, to protect. "This is what we did with our silence," Commander Stone told the council. "We hoped we would never need them. But hope is not a strategy." The human fleet moved to intercept the swarm. The first battle shocked the galaxy. The swarm had destroyed every fleet sent against them. But the humans fought differently. They did not charge in with brute force. They studied the enemy first, watched their patterns, found their weaknesses. The swarm adapts to direct attacks, human strategists explained to the council. So we do not attack directly. We lead them into traps. We make them chase us into gravity wells. We use their own momentum against them. Humans began teaching other species these tactics. The Krell learned to fight smart instead of just fighting hard. The Vorn learned to use their speed for hit-and-run attacks. Even the Dax learned that sometimes retreat was the path to victory. The war turned. Month by month, system by system, the United Galaxy pushed the swarm back. And leading every major battle were the humans, not because they were the strongest, but because they were the smartest. The final battle took place at the swarm's hive world. Every remaining species sent their ships. This was the moment that would decide everything. Commander Stone led the assault personally. His flagship, the Silent Guardian, pierced through the swarm's defenses like a blade. "All ships, execute final protocol," Stone ordered. The human fleet had one last secret. One weapon they had never shown. They called it the Nova Plan. Every human ship positioned itself around the hive world. Then, at exactly the same moment, they fired not at the planet, but at each other. The energy beams crossed, intersected, and amplified. A web of light formed around the hive world. The swarm tried to escape, but the web closed. In one brilliant flash, the hive and every swarm creature near it was gone. The war was over. The galaxy gathered at Unity 7 once more. But this time was different. Every species bowed as Commander Stone entered. "You saved us," the Dax representative said. "You could have let us die after what we did to you. Why did you help?" Stone looked at them all. "Because we learned something from our own history. We learned that survival means nothing if you survive alone. We learned that strength is not just about power, it is about protecting those who cannot protect themselves." He smiled slightly. We were silent because we were listening. We were learning. We were waiting for the moment when the galaxy would need us. Never mistake our kindness for weakness, Stone said quietly. Never mistake our silence for fear. We are human. We do not seek war. But when war comes, we will always be ready. From that day forward, human ships patrolled the galaxy. The silent ones were silent no more. But everyone remembered the lesson, when humans are quiet. That is when they are most dangerous. And the galaxy never laughed again.